Hey guys, it's TFNut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another model kit review. This time it's going to be of the brand new Bandai Mobile Suit Gundam Premium Bandai exclusive real grade 1/44th scale weapon set for the RX-78-2 version 2.0. We reviewed that particular real grade a couple months ago. Absolutely fantastic kit. At some point a few months ago, this went up for pre-order and then it shipped pretty quick. It was out in certain stores in Japan at some point. I mean, it probably still is, but this feels like a pretty short release window of pre-order to coming to, US, if you pre-ordered right away, to US, people ordering this on Premium Bandai's US website, of course. How many times can I say US in this video? Anyway, we have a weapon set here that I do want to take a look at and review. Hopefully this will be a little bit of a shorter video just because it's mostly weapons we're talking about here, and I've already done a review for the real grade 2.0 RX-78-2. With this box here, it is a monochromatic box and it is mostly black and white. It just says weapon set for RX-78-2 Gundam version 2.0. Bandai, you see all the stuff here. It goes over the Gundam hammer, the Hyper Bazooka, so we get another one of those, as well as a holding joint for that, Super Napalm, as well as an Action Base 7, Beam Javelin, Beam Saber effect part, and an exchangeable Hyper Hammer steel ball part. Probably could have talked about that during the actual, stuff when I build it, but oh well. We do have real grade logo as well as the Bandai logo. Now, right here, it gets a little tricky to look at, but a lot of monochromatic images of some of the different accessories shown off here. And these images were available, I believe, on Premium Bandai's website. If I can find that link, even though it will probably be sold out now, you'll have a better idea of how those images look. Not crazy about monochromatic boxes, because you just don't get that many detailed looks at the box, unfortunately. But this is what the side looks like. Let's double check if the other side looks pretty much exactly like that right there. Just going pretty quickly with this box. These are weapons. You guys can kind of tell that. But we have a whole bunch of writing that I can't read, unfortunately. It does say Gunpla here. It would do a barcode in case you need that, but you really won't. Nothing really on the back here, unfortunately. Let's just go ahead and open it here. Don't usually do it like this because we really don't have that much stuff in the runners. Pretty much just 2 bags and only a couple, I can only guess 5 or 6 runners. I think like 7. This is definitely going to be a little bit harder to read. But yeah, you could see the instruction manual there. And it just shows you, it's a very short instruction manual just going over how everything is supposed to be built. Seems like it's going to be pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and just get this built. Here's a quick top-down view of everything that is in this set. I kind of tried to recreate the top of the box. I didn't do the greatest job, I don't think. But as you can see, we do get a decent amount of stuff. This is a $23 kit. I mean, not including the taxes and fees and everything associated with Premium Bandai, which is why I really don't like using Premium Bandai still, but I digress. You do see we do have a decent amount of stuff. Let's go over something that we're all pretty familiar with if you have seen the review or if you've built your own RX-78-2 2.0. You get a Hyper Bazooka here, and this is exactly the same as the one that we got in that review. If you haven't seen the review, I'll also link that down in the description, but this is still a really nicely detailed Hyper Bazooka. Very nice part separation going on, detailing in the handles. You do kind of get to see the missiles inside there. I won't go into super duper detail. A lot of you know what's going on. Here's a little armrest section right there. But this is still really nice. Some sections can be easily removed if you need to do anything, like disassemble anything, but that can be popped back in and locked in just as easily. We have a moving handle right there. I'll also go ahead and show you guys some images of what this kit looks like holding these accessories. So as you can see, we have dual wielding. It actually is pretty easy, just like in the review, to hold the Hyper Bazooka, so it's not too much of a problem to dual wield these, and it's pretty cool when you do it. Next up is the Super Napalm here. I like the idea of basically an underbarrel grenade launcher for the beam rifle. You can see where some of these nub marks needed to be cleaned off. I need to get something for polishing because you can just tell that was just a glass vial. Yeah, that definitely shows. But really nice surface level detail of these panel sections here. They do hide, seam lines of, putting the plastic together as panel lines. So that is nice. See the red color separation right there on the barrel. We have a little bit of this higher clip section here and this lower clip section. Kind of like some rivets on the side too. On the back there, and there's nothing really going. It's mostly just a gray piece of plastic with some red separated in there. Nothing really going on the inside here. This higher clip here, you'll clip that around the smooth section of the barrel. So just clip that in like so, as you see there. And that is fine. My elbows on this get a little loose. I did pose the crap out of this when I originally got this, but it's not a consistent issue of these elbows getting low or getting loose. It does make it a tiny bit heavy, just not, honestly, not too much though. Holding out a pose like this, it's going to hold it just fine. You would have to shake it pretty hard for it to budge at all. And I really dig that. It's easy to put on. It's easy to take off. It looks good on there. And yeah, honestly, for some reason, I was just most excited about this particular. I was excited about a lot of the accessories. This one in particular, though, I just thought it was really cool to put this under the beam rifle. I know, that's sick. Now, before I take a quick look at the slashing beam effect, this is what it looks like when RX-78-2 is holding it. But this thing, I guess I just never realized during the review, these fit in the hand pretty well, but they do want to rotate a decent amount. So this will just kind of droop down, unfortunately, almost like it's a whip. So, you know, getting it into poses kind of like this, I mean, it's fine now, but then you will eventually move it around, and then, yeah, it just wants to go loose. So, yeah, that's a little annoying for this particular accessory, because I was also very excited for this. And this here, let's see if I can just zoom in real quick. Yeah, so the idea here is a very simple, you know, type of, I mean, it's not exactly the same sculpt, of course, as a beam saber that we usually get, unless they just took that and then bent it. They could have very well done that, or done it from scratch, who knows. But it is a translucent pinkish reddish plastic here, and it's a little bit angled actually at the base section. Not this exact peg, but like a little bit right there. So what is the, I think the sizing, like the length is accurate, because, well, maybe not. I think it's the same length. Like if you wanted to straighten it out, no, I think it is the same length no matter what. So that is kind of nice that they have that attention to detail. This is the, you know, beam saber effect that came packaged with. We only get one of these though with this slashing effect. So it is nice that we have this. It just seems a little unfortunate that it's a little loose when the beam saber handle's in the hand, I guess. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe the hand has a little bit of a loose connection, but I was testing that, you know, testing this exact hand before doing this. So yeah, still pretty nice to have this. Now this is what we get with the beam javelin, and I'm going to have autofocus on here because this is going to be a little difficult. So hopefully this doesn't get botched too much. I want to talk about the tip first here. I really like actually that, I mean, I'm pointing it out now, but we do have separated plastic here, but you really couldn't tell, honestly, with that effects piece. I really like this, you know, very similar translucent plastic compared to the beam effects. You get that here. I did snip these straight off the runner, these protruding sparked out sections, and then this long piece here. You can kind of tell, maybe I should have done it a little bit more proper. I was getting to the end of this build and I was like, I want to finish this now. So, I mean, could look better, could look worse, but all these parts sparking out here. It's a little bit of a softer plastic, but by no means is it super duper bendy. It actually does come undone sometimes here. Taking this off here, you know, it separates right there, and then this is a peg hole right there. Very reminiscent of some of the like Kamehameha effects from some of the Dragon Ball SH figure arts actually. And then you get to the actual just staff here. It's all one white piece of plastic. You do see kind of like these indented sections with the circular rotation right there. And then you do also get what's going on at the end of this staff section. It's all one piece still until you get to the handle, which the handle, of course, is a separate section. You can see how that looks. You do get a little bit of apparent separation of plastic there. It's really not a big deal. You do pop it off like this, and then I've basically disassembled the whole thing just now just to show you. But pop that handle in there. You get to see how that ends up looking. So that will fit in there. So that's really nice. Now I'm going to turn off autofocus, because this is going to be a nightmare if I had it on autofocus. Basically, assemble everything like it was earlier. Put that back in there. Sometimes this seems like it's not in there all the way. Usually just the one push and a little bit of resistance. it'll be in there, and everything is, yeah, that's not going to fall out. Now, I was having trouble with that one beam Saber handle earlier with how this doesn't seem tight. This seems like it's not budging at all or rotating in the hand at all, so that's good. It does seem a little heavy when I'm shaking it just a little. No, that was pretty solid. I'm not going to do the best job posing this up right now, but as you see, let's pop that off. Rotate that. Yeah, that's kind of sick. It does feel like it wants to droop down a little. Well, I mean, this is still pretty brittle, pretty hard plastic. So I think it just likes wobbling because, yeah, you just see how that can wobble a little bit. But that is really sick. And this thing is also really tall. I think it's like an inch taller. Let's take this effects piece off the show. And now that just came undone. This should be like maybe like half an inch taller, honestly. That's still pretty tall. Now, this is the accessory I was a little bit more dreading to talk about the most. Not because I think this is bad. I think it's actually a great accessory. It's just that there's some things that are a little, not super duper complicated, but I'm probably going to mess some things up while doing this section. And I might ramble a bit. This is the Gundam hammer, as you see here. We have this end right here looking really cool now. It's just mostly in one gray plastic, and you do see a little bit of cleanup that I needed to do all throughout. And I didn't really get these sections that clean either, unfortunately. All these are individual sections, these little, spiked pieces. I got as good as I could, but it got really difficult to clean because I think there's like 3 different nip sections to get that off the runner, and it just started getting a little bit of a pain. This does pop off here at the top, and then you get this extra head for our hyper hammer. You can see a groove indent on the inside here, and the way that this groove is shaped, you just, if I can get that done, yeah, you just insert it. Similar thing, you can actually see a little bit more of what I was talking about with some of these nip sections or gate sections that I needed to clean on this attachment here. But this is cool still. It just took a little too much time to clean these up properly like I wanted. This whole chain is very impressive. I'm going to show you a quick image of this runner here. This is runner A. I talked about the runners a little too quick, but this is technically the multicolored runner because there are these protective clear parts that are pretty much all in most sections of the going into some of these grooves in the chain section. And this is all pre-assembled. So as you see here, I do feel like it's going to get a little loose over time. It's really cool how this functions and has all this articulation, of course. But I do feel, already, and there's a way to, mitigate this, I guess, but that's already loose as that. So, yeah. And then you had, like, all the gate sections were, like, either here or on this side. So you had to clean, like, a lot of gate sections on every chain. And then you have the handle here, and you have this bit of this pommel. I guess it would be a pommel. But that wasn't too bad to deal with. That was also pre-assembled. This almost looks a little bit like a greenish or brownish gray compared to what's going on here. At least how they did this pre-assembled section. Actually, so that is part of that. So I thought the handle was a separate section for a second. I was wrong. But nope, that is definitely pre-assembled on there. Let's take the pommel off. Let's fit this in there. Let's pop the, I forget exactly how this is going to go. I think like this. Could be wrong. Oh yeah, so that's definitely going to keep popping off, unfortunately. There we go. And like, again, this is really cool. It's nice to have this. Because for some people, this is a pretty iconic type of weapon. But it is a little floppy, unfortunately, if you want to have, the RX-78-2 resting with it a little bit more naturally. And yeah, you do get it looking like that. But there is one way to help with this. And that is going to be of the Action Base 7, which I believe is a pretty new base from Bandai. And this thing here is really nice. Very reminiscent of a Tamashii base. Almost like some Good Smile, like sold separately bases too. Not exactly a Figma base, but teetering a little bit on that line. I think one of the only other bases I have when it comes to Gunpla is either this 4 or 5 action base. This definitely came with Moon Gundam, though, if that gives you any idea. This one's fine. It's just that you have this section here to make things more stable. I mean, this can be pretty stable right here, but that's also really loose now. And you have these like notches to make this stable. Then in order to actually move this, this won't budge until you unlock this. And that moves. Same thing going on here. Just too much work to be done, unfortunately, at least I think, with that base. This thing, again, very simplistic, almost like a Metacom MOFX style base too. You can have a swivel section right here at the base. So you, of course, see that that is a removable section right there. Then you have these right here, so you can pop this right there or another section. It's a little bit of like this opaque plastic, and then we do have like a hollow section right there as well. What's really nice about this is that this is just built like a rock, dude. It is so nice. This definitely moves, of course. It does need a decent amount of push because we have like 2 pieces of plastic on each side wedged together, and then you have these pieces that keep that stable. And it's just a whole lot of stabilization going on here while still being able to articulate and hinge the way it needs to. That is really nice. On a kit like the, real grade RX-78-2, where it's not super duper heavy. First of all, actually, this is an adapter piece. You have this section right here. Put that back on. This is going to be for, this RX-78, but also for other Gunpla or a high-grade Gunpla too. And I'm not going to be going crazy on flying poses, but if you want to do a flying pose, that allows that to happen. Of course, if that is back too much, that will make this fall over a little bit. That's still, yeah, that's sick. And then we have like I thought there was an undercarriage section. Some of these Gunpla have whole sections that you can go into there, so that would work too. Now, what I was talking about earlier, this thing does fall off a little too easily, this adapter piece. When it came to the gravity or the Gundam hammer, I almost said gravity hammer like Halo. This piece here, you see this like almost like this fork type section. This is definitely going to be made for if you need to have something holding the Gundam hammer in the air like that. So they did think about how this was actually going to be able to, not only articulate, but be able to hold up, because they knew it was going to be a little floppy when, just doing it in the hand, or the pose in the hand of the Gundam. So quick shot right here of the base, being utilized here to hold up the Gundam hammer. I'm not doing the greatest job of posing, but it's just giving you an idea of how this looks to stabilize it. I am really digging this base. I believe they sell these separately too, so I'm glad I got this set. So I now have one of these. I may buy more, and I may use this as my base for a lot of other figures, honestly. This would work out really nice because, and they don't have instructions for some of these attachments, but you do have other sections here. Some of these things I don't know exactly what's going on. I think some extra parts, but this is definitely a C-clamp type of section right here. I believe this is also for that. So you can have a C-clip section right there if you really wanted to on this clear runner. Since this isn't a normal type of video, just doing a quick shot here, they don't have any articulation or size comparison portions, of course. This is actually a really nice set, I do think. Is it worth the 23 bucks on Premium Bandai? Well, that's not too bad of a price if you ask me, especially for all you get. But, this is Premium Bandai, so the extra fees are really going to jack it up. I just don't like Premium Bandai for that. I know they have to do that, but it just, it makes it like almost 40 bucks, honestly, which is a little bit heavier to swallow, unfortunately. But the stuff that we have here is really nice. An extra Hyper Bazooka is always nice. I really like the Super Napalm. Very simple, but still very nice and effective. The Gundam Hammer, I'm growing a little bit more used to, as long as you have that Action Base 7 on hand to help you with posing, which is such an amazing base, honestly. It's simple, but I didn't realize I like it as much as I do. But that will help with poses of that. The extra exchangeable Hyper Hammer head, I guess I should say, that is also going to come in handy. The Beam Javelin is really cool. And then the swooshing effect, I don't know what was going on my end. If you can make your Beam Saber handles more stable than what I was doing, that swoosh effect is going to be really sick. Overall, very nice stuff. These are pretty quick builds to all of the stuff here. Maybe took me like an hour. Could take you a little bit quicker than that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the model kit set here, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends, follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.